Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another Trinity 10. We are 16 days into the new year, y'all. I still remember when it first came in. I don't know where time went, but here we are. We're approaching February very quickly. And I just want to continue to say I'm so proud of you all. Like I said, having a business, moving on as an entrepreneur, finding ways to remain innovative and competitive within any industry, despite whether you think it's saturated or whether you think you're one of the big players. Congratulations, you guys. Keep going, keep moving. 2024 holds so many good things for all of us, and I keep saying that because that's what I feel. Like I said in my live, if you missed it, it is still on my page. It's going to be up for, I think, another 26 days, something like that. So go check my live on Facebook. I spoke about how my business is God-given and how I had other plans for my life, which I still feel will come later on down the line. But as of right now, Trinity Professional Group has my undivided attention. I love my business. I love being able to help fellow business owners, as well as those who have moved on to have actual corporations, and they're big boys. They have multiple locations. They have a lot of employees. So I enjoy what I do. Trinity Professional Group is only going to get bigger from here. And I hope that I can help you all get bigger as well. And then you can become my clients and we get bigger together. So jumping into this week's topic, I'm going to speak about momentum and what helps momentum. So momentum would be where you are already moving, right? You've gotten your LLC, you've come up with your business name, you've gotten your EIN, you've went ahead and set up your DUNS, you've waited long enough for your state to register your business so you can open your business bank account, right? You've got all of these things moving, you're steady moving. So when you do things like this is what builds momentum. You have checked off so many things on your list. You have given yourself the confidence to know it can be done, and you've gotten it done. So with this momentum, you're at a place where more things can happen if you have the right people in place. So this will move from just a normal business owner to, let's say, you're 5 years within your business, you have employees, you have leaders, and at this point you're seeking to expand, which is a part of my business strategy. So when you're seeking to expand, it is crucial that you understand you need those milestones checked off to have your team fully vested. In order for your team to be fully vested, they need to know that their efforts are paying off. They need to know that their efforts are being recognized, and they also need to see the metrics behind those efforts. Like we talk about all the time, your infrastructure sets you up to have SOPs, and from those SOPs, you get KPIs, which are metrics that let people know what the average is and what is expected from them. So your employees have had time to get used to your KPIs. They've gotten used to what it means for them to be actually productive. And they've also realized what it means for them to possibly have some type of incentive or reward for their work that they've already been doing or going above and beyond to do. So when we are at this phase, choosing your next move wisely is critical because it could take the steam out of them. That same momentum that you want, that same keep rolling, that same not starting at 0. We may start at 30 or 40 and we get to 100 like that instead of, having to stop and start all over again. All of that, what you want, it has to be done correctly or you'll lose it all. And your team is who helps you get it done. You guys, like I always say, I don't really like to refer to them as employees. I say it for more of the acknowledgement of what it is I'm trying to refer to or what it is I'm trying to say. But your team is who makes you successful. So when you go to move to the next phase or when you go to incorporate a new change, having their momentum on board is crucial. So they need to be able to see exactly where it is you're going and why you need to make that change as well, right? So we know momentum is from already moving. So if you've made one change, why do we need to make another? Why do we need to continue making changes in other areas? So you need to be able to convey this properly, and you need to have your leadership on board. Like I said in my live, and I think a few other videos as well, your leadership team is closer to your employees on the floor, like on the grassroots level of it, right? If you have a an accounts payable team, that supervisor is closer to them. If you have a sales team, their sales for team leader, however you decide to give them their title, they're closer to the employees. So with those people who are closer to the employees, they need to have extreme clarity on what it is they're moving towards. So let's say it was the sales team who got our momentum going, who got our sales from $100,000 months to $200,000 months, right? So everybody's behind the sales team. Everybody's excited. Accounts payable now has more people to process invoices for. Accounts receivable now has more money coming in. Everybody's glad. They've decided to get that oil and that machine moving. So you got to keep going. So the next change that you make has to make sure that you continue to satisfy these three departments that are actually happy at this time. So you can't make a decision to shrink the sales team. That would not make anyone happy. They will actually want you to add more people to the sales team possibly, or 2 people or 3, to see if you guys can get to $250,000 months, or if you can get to $300,000 months, right? So while this team is going and you have their attention and everybody is excited, you want to remember that something called groupthink will be so beneficial to you to make any new changes from there. So groupthink can be both beneficial and negative at the same time. Groupthink is something that we relate as everyone is on the same page. Everyone has embodied their company culture. And in embodying the company culture, they are on board with changes as long as the changes continue to fortify the company culture and continue to fortify the bond that they've built with each other, right? So like I said, with your sales team, if we remove people from the sales team, that's not keeping us with our current team. That's not keeping us on board with who we won with, who we checked off that milestone with, who we overcame that hurdle with, right? You don't want to dismantle your group when you're trying to fortify groupthink. So one of the other things that could be detrimental to you in terms of groupthink is if everyone is on board until another change comes and nobody likes that change. Like I said, you need to be very aware of the changes you make. You need to be very aware of how the team stands based on the changes you've made. Like I said, we got to a $200,000 month with sales. Everybody's happy. So we have to be wary of what decisions we make. If we decide to promote someone, that would be a positive effect on groupthink, because now everybody realizes, like, dang, yeah, hard work really pays off. They saw that John stayed an extra 3 hours a night. They saw that Mary came in and did all the data and realized that it was just one keyword we weren't telling the customers. Stephanie came in and realized that, and working with John and having a co-team, she could go out and get more sales in the field and he could do it on the phone, right? So there's so many things that have gone into groupthink to get everybody on one page. So like I said, if you're going to make a change, make it a positive one. And even if later on you have to dial it back a bit as far as sales is concerned, you don't want to do it in that momentum phase, and you definitely don't want to do it when your team is on a wave or a plateau of groupthink. Groupthink is more beneficial, more powerful than any changes you can decide to make, because you can roll out the change all you want. You can have all this fire, all of this motivation behind you. But if your team is like completely, their minds have met, they are on the same page, they agree that no change needs to be made, it's going to be hard to get that change through. So while groupthink can be beneficial, like I said, and we're getting to $200,000 and $300,000 months, on the flip side of that, any further changes will require their approval. Even though you could be the manager, even though you are the CEO, their approval or their buy-in is needed, because they need to know, okay, if we've trudged along this much, why are more changes needed? Am I not enough? Is my work not enough? So like I said, if you were to promote that person who stayed those extra hours, it gives them the idea that, okay, that change was enough, or that change was good because he overachieved. That change was good because we've all bought into this idea of more. So everybody's okay with it. So when it comes to groupthink and your momentum, make sure you plan out your next phase wisely. Make sure your team is vested. And if you are in a position to have groupthink and your team is on the same page with you, make those choices wisely, because they could easily get off the same page as you if you make the wrong choice, or that choice dismantles your company culture and ultimately your team's buy-in and groupthink. All right, you guys. So this is our first video for this week. It is on momentum and how momentum can be affected or benefited. And tonight we spoke on groupthink. So I will see you all on Thursday for our second part of this video. I hope you all are having an amazing week. Don't forget my book, The Conscious Leader, is still available both on my website and on my Facebook page. TrinityProfessionalGroup.com is still available, and I am accepting new clients. I'll see you guys on Thursday's video for part 2. Have a good night.